Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. We will continue our lesson on PHP syntax. This time is about the iteration. What do you mean by iteration? So there's in programming, uh, we will be dealing with repetition, meaning that some of the routine or some of the program or some of the statement will need to be repeated. Okay, will need to be repeated. So let's say you would like to process a data for 100 students or 1,000 data. So how can we do it in programming? Uh, it is impossible for us to calculate manually. Okay, it's not advisable if you want to calculate them manually. But there's a special function, or normally in every programming language, there will be some sort of loop statement or something like you can decide a block of or one line of statement that could be repeatedly that will be done repeatedly again and again and again. For instance, you have 1,000 data of students record. So you would like to print them out or display the data. So most likely you will try to run echo. Okay, you will try to run echo. So you will run echo for the first student, let's say Ali. And then you run echo again for the second student, which is maybe Abu. Or you run another the same echo statement, let's say for Ahmad and Aminah and so on. So you cannot simply do echo one echo for each of the student's name, the student's record. You need to do some sort of repetition or loop or a way of repeating one statement again and again and again. So in PHP, as similar to Java, you will see that PHP support for statement or for loop. It also support a while, do while, and for each. Maybe I will skip for each for later because for each is related to array. So next week I will be talking about array. Then I will try to demonstrate the example of repeating array using for each. So for today, we will be discussing about repetition, and we will be focusing on the for statement, FOR, for statement. So this is an example of a for statement whereby you iterate or you repeat to display numbers from 1 to 9. Okay, 1 sampai 9. 1 till 9. So in for statement, you have the for statement here and followed by a variable which you define the initial value. So let's say you would like to with number 1, okay, until number 9. So you provide the variable, the counter, or normally we use I, okay, as the number 1, as the initial value. So you will see here, number 1 will be printed because we have echo here. Echo I. Echo I. So the first iteration, number 1 will be printed. If you are having for statement, this first statement is the initial value. Okay, for example, value I is 1. Value I is 1. This is sort of the counter. Okay, the counter. Juru kira ataupun tukang kira. Okay, the counter. And then how to pronounce this? How to say this in regular in simple language? This means the meaning of this statement is sort of until. Okay, sehingga. So you can do iteration from I sama dengan 1 or I equal to 1, start with 1 until hingga 9. So until the I value is less or equal to 9, then the iteration will continue, still continue. So let's say if you have I equals to 10, so if you have I equals to 10, meaning that the iteration is outside of the boundary, because you decide, you tell the program to do the loop until number 9, meaning that if I is 10, 10 is outside of this boundary. So if it is outside of the boundary, the loop will stop, the loop will terminate. So the last statement for this for statement is incremental. Yeah, incremental, meaning that the first loop I is 1, the second loop I is 2, because you have incremental expression here. Incremental, meaning that the value of I, the data inside the I is changed or incremented by 1. So you have here I equals 1, and then later you have I equals to 2. That is the second iteration. That's why we can get number 2. Okay, we get number 2 in the output. So let's say you printed an I for the second iteration, and then the next iteration, the value of I is 3. Okay, the value of I is 3. And then it will be printed here, echo here. And then the iteration will continue to number 4, and number 5, and number 6, number 7. It ends on number 9. Okay, the iteration will stop at number 9 because 10 is out of this boundary. Because 10 is out of this boundary. So when you get when your program get 10 as the value of I, it will stop immediately because 10 is out of the boundary. So that is a simple example of how you do a loop statement. Okay, a loop statement. So I will change to your favorite editor. Okay, we will change to your favorite editor. We'll be doing an example in Subline. So let's say we have here the similar program. Okay, the similar program. So this time I would like to print numbers from, let's say, from this current year. Okay, I would like to print a number from this current year, let's say 2020. Okay, so 2020. So I would like to print the number for this year from 2020 until 1900. Okay. So if you if incremental, you use plus plus. Incremental means from number 1, add up to number 2, add up to number 3, add up to number 4, and that is incremental value. So let's say you want to start from a bigger number, and you slowly decrement or decrease the value of I by 1. So you can use decremental. You can use decremental operator, which is minus minus. So let's say you would like to start to print number 2020 until 1900. So you would like to print the year, the list of the year. Maybe you would like to add some interface to to record uh, date of birth, so something like that. Date of birth, something like that. Or to record an artifact. Or whatever the reason. So we start with 2020, this current year, and it will be decrementing, okay, from 2020 to 2019 to 2011 to 2017 and so on until 1900. So in this case, you need to change the incremental operator to decremental operator, which is the minus minus. And here maybe okay, you provide until 1900. But the condition here also need to be changed to something like this maybe. Okay, I is greater than or equals to 1900. So by providing this initial value 2020 until I is until I selagi until I is greater or equals to 1900 and I minus minus. So what we will be having is .php. I'll start the Laragon first. Look, where's the list? Okay, so you will see the output is something like this. So the output is something like this. You have the initial value of I 2020 because this is a decremental. Then you can see 2020 minus 1 is 2019 and 2019 the next loop minus 1 is 2018 and you can see the year is printed from 2020 until 1900. That's one of the usage of loop statement or for statement. Okay, this is one of the usage of loop statement. So if you would like to start from bigger number, okay, and do some sort of decremental process, okay, use the minus minus and okay, and this is the what we call the exit statement or the stopping condition. So this is the stopping condition. So this is the stop condition. So as previously in the example, you can see that the numbers start from the initial value start from 1. Okay, the initial value start from 1 until 9. So this example you need to do the incremental I plus plus. Okay, so that the number will display number 1 until number 9. But in this demo, you see that the number start from big number, and then you will see it's decremental, because you need to minus 1, so then it can reach to 1900. You cannot provide something like this, okay, because this will result in infinite loop, because normally you cannot reach the end of this statement. Okay, this will provide infinite loop. So okay, so we change to I until I is greater or equal to 19, selagi, okay, as long as. So that is one example. Okay, that is one example. So in the next slide, okay, in the next slide, I would like to show you how to put this this display. Sorry. Okay, I would like to show you. Okay, this display in the form of select element. In the form of select element. So array is our lesson for next week. Don't worry. So I would like to show you how to change this, okay, this output into something like this, so that you can do sort of the user can do some sort of selection process, okay, or drop down. Okay, our module is available in PHP Carol. I provide the link inside the KLMS. So this is our exercise related to repetition. It's inside the chapter 07. These are some sort of explanation. Then you will see the exercise at the end of the file. So this is how I demonstrate how to use the combo box or drop down list to populate the year inside the interface, HTML interface. So what we can do is you may refer to the PDF module chapter 07. Okay, so I continue with the demonstration. A demo how to populate your number, this number of years, into the combo box or the select element in HTML. How can we incorporate this select control, this input control, okay, to form a selection of year, okay, rather than this output, okay, whereby you just simply display the list of the year from 1900, from 2020 to 1900. So how to do this? So first thing you need to, as provided in the slide, first thing you need to see how to do the select input control in HTML. So there's an example inside the W3 schools. Okay, just go to W3 schools, learn HTML. Later I will provide this video after I edit and remove something. So this is where can we do the form. Okay, where can we do the form? sorry, the keyword is select. Select, select, select. The keyword is select. Select HTML W3. Okay, the tag is select. The tag is select. Select. The tag, HTML tag is select. What select can do? Something like this. Magnify for you. Something like this. So we will populate this option with a number of years. We will populate this with a number of years, as displayed in the previous form. So what can you get from here is this part, then you copy it. Okay, study the structure of this select statement. Sorry. Okay, in select statement, you have the option. Select, you have select, and you have the close select. Then you have the option. The first option, let's say this is for 2020. The second option, maybe you will see 2019. The third option, this is done manually. This example is done manually. Somehow or other, you cannot afford to repeat this manually until from 2020 to 1900. And that is not a good programming approach. A better one is you need to use the for in PHP. You can do manually, no problem. You can do this manually, but somehow or other, better to have this done by the loop inside the PHP. So first thing is I would like to add to our code where is our code? Okay, this one. So I will add select because select is actually is a HTML. So we will write this select input in the HTML. Okay, in the HTML. So this is the select statement. I mean, it's not a statement. This is a HTML tag. And then if you are using a select input control, you need to mark this with the closing. So this is the opening and this is the closing. So you need to have this both. If you're using HTML select, first you need to write the select opening, and this is the select closing. Because that is HTML part, you need to put it outside the PHP compartment. But in PHP select, you need to have option. You need to have option. Option is the item list. Option is the item list. So I would like to amend this with option operator, something like this, and then close the option. So you have the the opening of the option and the closing of the option. It's something like this. So we have the select and closing, option and closing. You save this. Okay, and then you try it in your browser. Mana browser kita? Okay, this one. And then you refresh. So you will get some sort of interface, something like this. So this is managed or populated inside the select input control. It's very, it's quite different from text box, because text box, you will be providing open input for the user, but using the select input, you are limiting. Okay, uh, you are limiting the option. Okay, you are limiting the option by providing options. Okay, you are providing option. Okay, this is how you control the input from the user, because maybe you are expecting a number of years. Okay, years. You are expecting years from users input. So it's better if you do something like this. So you're just providing the option to the user, rather than you provide open text, as in input text box. Okay, so this is how you develop or populate. Okay, select with your data, your own input option, your own data option. So one way we can do something like this. So that is how, okay, that is how you can do your what we call as input selection. So let's say this is for the year. So how about day? So let's say you are providing, okay, day. You are providing the option for the day input. Day is something like from 1 till 31, something like that, 31. Okay, 1 to 31. This one you provide different condition. Sorry. This one we provide the different condition to save it, then refresh. Oh, sorry. Okay. That's why this what happen when you provide what we call as infinite loop. Okay, because you cannot meet the end condition. So this one is plus supposedly, because from 1 till 31, this is an incremental. Okay, that's why this is a never-ending loop. So we need to refresh this. Okay. So we have the input from 1 to till 31, and then we have the year. Okay, and if you prefer to provide the input for month, then you just add another selection option. This is for month. The complete code is also available inside the PDF. So don't worry if you cannot follow to copy this code. The code is available inside your PDF. Okay, you can select something like this. Okay, so that is what I would like to explain for this session. So do you have any question?
Bukan I. Yang tu.
Yang ni. Okay. I is variable. Y is also variable. So So if you prefer to use I or Y, it doesn't matter because this is a variable. Okay,
For
I
which
or Y or M, you need to have a variable. Okay, you can use I is a variable. Okay, as long as you have the apa namanya, the dollar sign. So that Y is also variable, I is also variable, M is also variable, num is also variable. Okay, students is also variable. This is only a variable. What a variable does, it consists or it contains data. It's just a data container. So you can use I, you can use Y. Okay, it depends on your programming needs. Okay, terpulang kepada keperluan programming anda lah. Kalau you nak guna Y pun boleh, I pun boleh, M pun boleh, num pun boleh, students pun boleh. As long as you provide the dollar sign. This is dollar sign. So in PHP, dollar sign means variable. Okay, at the bottom of chapter 7, this is for the quiz for today. This quiz is replacing your attendance. So I don't provide the attendance for this session. Okay, we change to quiz. So make sure you answer this quiz inside the box provided. Merely two simple questions lah, because this is a simple pop quiz only. So this session, I demonstrated regarding the for iteration or for statement. Okay, for iteration, for statement, for iteration. Okay, so later next session we'll be explaining about array. So this is